Do you hear that? It's another news breakdown here on Sotopop. Alright, as always, I'm your host of Stratos, and today, well, we do not have tons of news that came out of the blog this week, but what there is pretty fun to talk about. So, without further ado, let's just hop right in, because that is really the only news. Nothing else outside of that. I mean, there is a bunch of Zenkaiju news, but we don't cover that here. Anyway, let's head into the news. And we have our very first looks at Slash. It's honestly been a while for this figure since, you know, he's debuted such a long time ago, at least, you know, in my mind. But it makes sense because this line is full of 01 toys. Either way, they debuted Slash this week, as well as Jaou Dragon for Caliber. I never know the order of this dude's name, and I refuse to look it up. Either way, they did a tandem sort of breakdown for these guys, but first off, they started with a little bit more information on Slash himself. He does do the, you know, line-wide gimmick, or at least the gimmick for these different belted people. The ones that have transformation devices that aren't the belt. Either way, I'm really happy that he's able to do this. I don't know why they wouldn't have made this happen. A discovery, well, I wouldn't really say a discovery, but as I've been playing with this myself, and as Malunis has been playing it with these figures himself, we've come to realize that the socket that they are swapping out, it does seem a lot friendlier to load and unload that joint. So, hey, kudos to them on that. Also, we do not have a Bremen No Rock Band yet, so this is being shown off with the Three Little Pigs. I do wonder, you know, if that's going to be coming in the next book. Either way, the next point about this guy is that while he does come with a very nice sword weapon, he doesn't come with the weapon in gun mode. They did note that, hey, we could not fit it into this mold, so but we do have plans to make it, so we hope that you will be patient. And you know what? I'm really glad that they addressed that, you know, right now. And I am patient. If you're collecting this line, you're definitely patient, and I can't wait to get it in hand. Either way, very excited for this. Also, like I said earlier, we do not have Bremen No Rock Band yet, so I do wonder if that's going to show up in the potential Dragon Bremen No Rock Band set, because we typically get that with the disparate arms. Either way, very excited. Anyway, that is it for him himself. Let's get into that tandem review of Jaou Dragon and Slash. Because Jaou Dragon, as well as Slash, went through multiple revisions on their plastic. Basically what had happened, or what they were trying to accomplish with those revisions, is they were trying to eke out this really metallic look from the plastic itself, and I do believe it comes across. Like I said, 10 revisions, that was apparently a lot for them. And also, the same revisions that were made to Jaou Dragon were made to the regular Caliber figures. So, if you want to appreciate all the work that went into the plastic color choice, you have at least one of these figures already, so definitely check that out. Next up for these guys, not just the plastic, but the paint, because there are some really incredible painted details here. It's not just, you know, the larger swaths of paint. It is the smaller, fine details, especially on the head. Here on Jaou Dragon, 2 tiny paint taps on this one side, so that means it's mirrored on the other side. 4 tiny paint taps, 2 different colors. I really, really appreciate that. That's fantastic. This is something that I easily could have seen them doing with a sticker. Horribly, mind you, but they definitely could have done it. And they didn't. Like, they went the extra mile and added this paint. I'm so happy about it. Same thing goes for Slash, because we not only have, you know, the face detail done in sticker, but all the little accents, the white chin strap, the white lines around the head, and that black in the center, all picked out in paint. Really, really, really appreciate that. It's not always possible for them to put in this much effort, and it's always awesome when I see it. Almost consistently, because they did say, hey, to those of you who have gotten too, I don't want to say familiar, but too reliant on us adding too much paint, don't get used to it. But also, we did happen to add a little too much paint this time. Don't get used to it, though. Either way, really happy about that. Like I said, it's not just the smaller ones, though. It's the larger ones. Jaou Dragon gets full-on paint on the inside of his cape. That's beautiful. I really appreciate that they went through the trouble of doing that. This must have taken up a lot of paint budget. Also, another subtle thing that I appreciate is that they put the Chinese trademarks and all that stuff on the place that is not going to be seen when you put the cape on. I love it. That's such a good attention to detail, or not attention to detail, but like such a good way to hide the things that absolutely have to be there and you don't want them there. Love it, love it, love it. Absolute awesome consideration here. And not an absolute conspiracy. That's a different thing. Also, Jaou Dragon. They did not want to discount all of the gold paint that went into this guy, because it's on the arms, the shoulders, the chest, and all throughout the legs. He noted here, G-Man noted here, that when he was working on this, he was imagining all the smiles of the people opening this up and realizing that this was mostly painted. And hey man, I'm smiling here. That's really awesome. Really appreciate it. I know he's never gonna see one of these, but I really appreciate it. Another thing they wanted to note about, in terms of like painted details, sculpting, and everything, just like designing these in general, is that anytime they go into one of these figures, they're really only working off of the concept art that they get for this. There is no physical suit when they start working on these, because, you know, this is a 6-month cycle. So they are having to do a lot of guesswork. Some of the guesswork that goes into it is choosing the colors, and specifically not just like basing it off of the concept art that they get, but like, okay, what is this material finish going to look like? And if it's that material finish, how is it going to be filtered through the lens, and then also the after effects that they put on these things, or, you know, the color grading, the color, you know, all of that stuff that goes into the video side of things. They have to then think about ahead of time, do this whole 3D chess thing, and figure out, well, hopefully this is accurate enough to the show. So that is something that I was not previously privy to, in terms of what they had to do and what considerations they went through to make these figures. And this just enriches my experience and just the happiness with these figures. Lastly, though, for Caliber, I did want to mention the butterfly joints are back. So Caliber, the original Caliber, did not have these butterfly joints, but this one does. The thing is, though, you have a less of an angle than you do with the rest of the regular figures. Apparently it was done to conform with toy safety standards, and I don't know if that means that the other older Saber figures do not conform with toy safety standards. Either way, they went through a couple of revisions on this as well, and it seems to have worked out. I'm pretty happy with this, like, you know, this amount of range of motion, just because, you know, it's nice to have anyway. Outside of that, though, I do believe that is it. This is everything we are getting in the next book. The thing is, there are 4 figures here, and last time in what, book 3, we thought that, oh yeah, Saber is actually going to be getting the lion's share of character representation in book 3. But it turns out one of those characters could actually become about 6 to 7 different characters. So in terms of like base level characters that you can create with book 3, there were more 0-1 figures than there were Saber figures. My money is on the rest of this being 0-1 figures, but at the very least, this is Saber. This is a mostly Saber wave. Like, there are no other technicalities you can put in here, I don't think, unless there's like a brand new army builder coming in. I believe that this is a Saber heavy wave. The next two, or I believe that there are going to be 2 more figures, just based off of the case assortment so far, and those are probably going to be 0-1 figures. The movie came out recently. I do wonder if they're going to be going, you know, trying to ebb off of that flow. And I'm wondering, hey, maybe realizing Hopper and like a translucent blue realizing Hopper, because, you know, they happen to do that sometimes. I don't know. Anyway, that is it for this week. Like I said, a very light week, but I did want to cover it. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the episode, hit the like button and subscribe if you want to hear more from us each week. Also, hey, I know that Kamen Rider is not at the forefront of everyone's minds just because Zenkaiger is coming out, but I do have a solution for you, because over at Go Mango, I am covering it. I feel like almost daily. I'm so tired. But you can head over to Go Mango and check out all the news updates and everything coming out about that. On top of that, I also have a brand new line of merch that, you know, is all Zenkaiger related. I've got the gears, I've got the logo, and I've got Zenkaiger on a shirt or on a mask or something. Whichever one you want to pick up. It's stuff, man. I'm tired, and hey, if you purchase something from there, it helps support me, and I am a lot of the parts of the channel, so I guess it technically helps support the channel. I'm rambling now. There are links to how you can help support the Black Lives Matter movement in the description and at the end card. Thank you so much for watching. Keep it. Hell yeah. I'm done! I'm done with this, and I'm probably gonna have to interpret some scans later, so that'll be fun. Scans for Zenkaiger. This is a very tiring time for news people like me.